Welcome to Pax Europiana, this time here from Belgrade. I'm here in the Kalemegdan, this beautiful fortress up of Belgrade, here the Danube and the Sava confluence, and I call for peace. I call for peace in Europe. I call for European Union to be 37 members and for European Serbia. This is very important. I fully support Serbia to join the European Union. Here, this is the flag of Europe and it should fly over Belgrade, and it's the destiny, I think, of and the future, and it's absolutely yes to Serbia to join the European Union. This is a wonderful European place. It is obviously the big point, the controlling point of the Balkans. It's obviously very important place in history. Belgrade was always fought over between the various European empires and the Turkish Empire, and it is now a wonderful European capital. These 2 days I will show you all of Belgrade, what I know and what I can show you, and that's Kalemegdan, just to make the point. Yeah? But of course, to join the European Union, this is a union of values. There must be certain things which also Serbia has to do and to deliver. And here is the offer. First of all, recognize Kosovo. This is very important because Kosovo is a European country, and it's a time to recognize and to make peace in the Balkans, and so to be ready to join together with Bosnia, Kosovo and Serbia the European Union, and to be then united in Europe. I think that was the unity of these three countries was always the aim of Serbia under very tragic and bloody circumstances. Now it's possible inside the European Union, and that's something wonderful, and I really support this. And I hope that together in 2029, under the pressure of the Ukraine war, of the Russian war against Ukraine, that this will be now possible, also for Ukraine, also for Moldova and also for Georgia. And when you see the great Orthodox Christian tradition, I will show you here this main church over there. This is in Kalemegdan on the top of the hill. It's this Orthodox enlargement, if I can say it like this, that would be very, very, very good with Ukraine, Georgia, Moldova to be in the European Union together with Kosovo, Serbia and Bosnia in 2029. Just to explain, I'm always in favor, and everybody knows that already the countries of which are already much more advanced in their EU accession, that they that means Macedonia, obviously North Macedonia, Albania and Montenegro, and they are NATO countries already and fully compliant with our sanctions and with our political system. They should be already 2024 in the European Union. And that's very important. So the second enlargement then in 2029, that's then in that sense also where the EU is completed. There can be always some further additions like the UK coming back, but that's the basic idea. But what is very important as well for European Serbia is to be in full solidarity with Ukraine. Now in this urgent need, in this disaster moment, it's absolutely important that Serbia supports Ukraine. And I was shocked to see that Serbia is not in the sanction regime, is opening the air, still is open for Russian aviation and for flights to Russia even more, because a lot of the Europeans and Russians with links, they go now via Serbia. That's not the European Serbia. And also when you see how terrible and brutal the bombardment and the horror of the Russian attack and war against Ukraine is now, I think nobody can support that. It must also be a change in attitude under the brutality. I know many Serbs who were complaining about the bombing of Belgrade and the bombing of the bridges in 1999, when it was necessary to stop the genocide here in Kosovo. But obviously it is like this, that the situation is now completely different. This is a brutal and murderous, reckless assault. Mariupol is treated like Grozny or Berlin. In no way Belgrade was ever receiving similar bombardment of civilian targets, of humanitarian targets. It's an absolutely outrageous war crime of unprecedented dimension, and I don't know that anybody can support these wild deeds. And I hope that this will lead to a change of opinion. I know that Mr. Vučić has very much controlled the society now and is very much like a mini Putin in this way, and he's controlling the media, he's controlling the economy and the political system, and he might be re-elected, but he is very close to Putin. Is this nothing where the Serbs think about it and say, this is not what we want? This dangerous link between Serbia and Russia has led to so many crimes and so many wars in the past. Yeah? Where's the European Serbia who stands up against that and works on a European future as a normal European nation state? Yeah? That would be so good, and that's why on the 3rd of April I call to vote against Vučić. Alternative is certainly much better than him. His stability we don't need in Europe, and also Serbia doesn't need the stability. The integration cannot happen without the major progress of Serbia recognizing Kosovo and joining the EU sanctions. And that's now in this crisis, and the position which Serbia has taken has actually led you further away from the European Union. So it's very important to join European foreign policy, to recognize Kosovo, to support Ukraine, and to be a full European Serbia, and then to join 2029 together with Bosnia and Kosovo, Ukraine, Georgia and Moldova, and then also one day to join NATO and to clean up the past of this horrible 90s under the terrible Milosevic, who is now the ideological father of Putin. And here they are very similar, and Putin will also end up in a similar situation like Milosevic. I'm confident. And that's European Serbia must be. I shake the hand of Mr. Djindjic twice, and it was the great opportunity for Western integration of Serbia, but it was not to be. It is the eternal tragedy. And we will also, when the archives are open one day and everybody starts to talk, we will see if not the Russians and Putin already had some influence in this terrible atrocity, because he was in power already and he didn't want to lose Serbia for himself. He had already used force against Chernobyl in Ukraine. Let's see what is really the reason for the murder of Djindjic on March of 2003. One of the most horrible political assassinations in European history. Yes, I'm here now in Belgrade. I will show you much of the city. I call for solidarity with European Ukraine, with European Kosovo, with European Bosnia and with European Serbia. I think there is a European Serbia, and we have to find it, we have to support it, we have to nurture it, and we have to also integrate it in the European Union. But it cannot be a second Hungary in a sense, where Orban is now, even under this terrible situation of the war, blocking all support for Ukraine in NATO, EU, and no weapons and little refugees. He is an absolute disaster, and the 3rd of April should see the fall of the two last men of Putin in Europe. Orban and Vučić must go, and that's my hope, and I call everybody on the 3rd of April elections to vote against Orban and Vučić. This is very important, and I hope for European Hungary to return to the West and also European Serbia to come back, and all countries at the Danube will be united in the European Union, NATO, by the euro. And I will also make this offer for Serbia to adopt the euro now very fast as a sign and the deal for the recognition of Kosovo. That can be done now in 2022, 23, 24. So already 24, all people here in this country will vote, will have the euro as currency, and that is then the firm way forward towards voting in the European Parliament 2029. Because the understanding I think everybody has, we shouldn't neglect the situation in Southeastern Europe and the Balkans, because otherwise Putin solves it with arms, and that's the horror we have here. Yes, and that's my European Serbia. I will show you more of the city in the coming days, and I will keep you posted here from Pax Europiana. Please support Serbia in European Serbia, in the European Union. European Serbia, please support Kosovo's independence, Bosnia's NATO membership, and of course Ukraine's EU membership bid. Together you will be united in the European Union. That is very important, and that's the future of EU 37, united in peace. And it will be also a lot of prosperity. And this will be a very rich place, Belgrade, in the future, if the good political decisions inside the European Union and for EU future of Serbia are taken. And that's what I'm calling for. I fully support European Serbia, but Serbia has to deliver and join the EU sanctions regime and break with Russia, accept Kosovo's independence and NATO membership of both sides, and stop threatening this kind of military posture, this rearmament, the threat of brutality. That whole has to stop. Thanks a lot. More to come. Bye.